Okay, I've been quite concerned reading some of your papers and I've gotten a couple emails. And my concern is that we're kind of miscommunicating here. And so, with any communication, if you're not getting the response you want, you kind of revise and change your communication. So, this is my attempt to kind of establish better communication between us. Now, with regards to your grade on this assignment, the grades will stay in as they are. However, at the end, I ask you to submit all your assignments relative to the business plan in one final project. It's a consolidation of all the other elements of the business, all the other assignments. When you submit that final business plan, you have the chance to revise each area. And so what I will do for just this area is regrade that section and apply the higher grade uh, to this assignment. So for example, if you got, I don't know, and I'm making this up, a 20, 20% or whatever on this assignment, you redo it, submit it with your final business plan. I regrade that section and say, wow, this should have, this is a 30 out of 30. I will then take that grade and replace the 20 with the 30. And then I will grade your whole final project in its totality. All right? So, with regards to that, some things I want you to think about and I want to clear up here is one, we're dealing with just the local Allstate Northport branch. While you have corporate information that was given to you so you get a feel for what the insurance field is like, where Allstate stands relative to its competition, etc. Okay, but we are advising the local Northport insurance branch. And so when you think about your social media marketing plan, think about your situational analysis with regards to your social media. What are your objectives for your social media? And here's another key one, your target market audience insight. The customer has already told you who they want you to target. But as their advisor, they need you to find out how this particular target market uses social media and how social media can help them reach this target market. So if you read the case carefully, you will find the customer has already told you who the target market is. The next thing is talk about the zones of social media and how they can leverage each zone of social media to accomplish the objective. And also talk in terms of the type of experience you want to create for people who visit or engage in the social media uh, of Allstate Northport. Now let's move forward. Things to keep in mind. We talked about a good plan tells a story. Your book talks about that as well. But our story has to be primarily focused around social media with respect to this Northport branch. And you can broaden a little bit with respect to Allstate, but primarily the number one focus is the Northport branch, right? And so who is key in that story, all right? And how did we get to where we are today? What is our current use of social media, etc. And I will, you'll have this to look at, all right? And specific measures of success for the social media program. How do you measure success? Is it number of likes? Is it how many follow? Those kinds of things, all right? And clear goals, all right? And so what are the strengths with regard to social media? What are weaknesses? Uh, since there's not a lot of social media with the Northport uh, branch, I mean, that's a clear weakness, but you may want to see what some opportunities are for them. Should they build a strong program? Would they be the first? Will they be among 3 people or insurance agencies that have that? Will they be able to reach a market that insurance agents have trouble reaching, etc.? How can this work in conjunction of what they're already doing? And some of you hit at that. All right. Even though it says business objective, my intent was your business objectives relative to social media. All right. And looking for specific goals, specific goals. So if I were to measure it, put a ruler on it, put a cup on it, whatever, I could objectively know if you've reached the goal or not. So it's also measurable. It's also action oriented, a specific action I have to take. Okay, and so on and so forth. You can read that. So I don't think there's confusion there. And so I've also given you some better sample objectives like business gain from social media, increase the number of comments on a blog, number of likes, increase Twitter following. All these are sample objectives that you can use relative to social media. All right? And so some other things that were in your book, because you can't totally rely on the videos. We try to limit these to 10 minutes because people's attention span kind of wanes after that. If you look in your book, they also talk about when you build your analysis, to look at what other people are doing. Don't just stay in your head in terms of what should be done with social media. A smart person will look at what's already been done and lay that out for the client and look for opportunities of what could be done. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. If you go to Agent Locator under Allstate and you put in 35404, let's just see what other Allstate agents in this area are doing relative to social media. Well, the first person I pulled up was Charlotte Bowers, right? And if you go to Charlotte Bowers, her website, click on Charlotte Bowers, you'll come here. And so Charlotte has Facebook, Twitter, Google, and she always asks people to recommend her as well. And she gets a little background. I think they all have that. But let's go to Charlotte's Facebook. Go to Charlotte's Facebook. Look at this. She has over 300,000 likes. She's also taken advantage of Social Good with this Purple Purse program. And there's all sorts of things she has posted here on her Allstate website. And if you read through currently, through some of her posts, etc., there'll be promotions. There's all kinds of things, helpful information, etc., to get people engaged with her site. I think even one post references Twitter's, okay, hashtag good hands. All right, so let's see what else Charlotte is doing. Let's see here. I looked, here. Charlotte is also on LinkedIn. She's not using that as much. She only has 68 connections, but she's also a grad of University of Alabama. All right, so those are some things you can do. You can also look at Allstate agents in other areas. Here's Michael Morales, and he's an Allstate agent. He's got Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and I went to his Google+ account, and there he's got some things going on there. All right, so these are things you can do to survey the landscape to find out what others are doing. You might go to State Farm agents and find out what they are doing and use that not only to give you some ideas of what to recommend to your client, but also to support some suggestions you have. So for example, if Charlotte did a promotion where she gives away $10 each week to people who like her Facebook, you can look at how many people participated, how that drove traffic, and if that's something you want to recommend to the client, you can say, try this. Charlotte Bowers tried it and she increased her traffic by 20%, and so on and so forth. So look at what others have done and try to include that in the strategy that you've developed. So I hope this gets you off to a better start. I hope this clears up some of the misunderstanding and get you on the right track to developing an effective social media marketing plan. All right, I will be talking more at you later.